Yeah, so I think there's a lot of different professionals that we work with, different types of businesses, different types of individuals, families. But the main causes that I see in working with clients is there's just a lack of education. The knowledge isn't really there. So a lot of people, when they come to me, they have different insurances in place or they have different investments. And I'll ask them, why do you have this in place? And most of the time, they don't know why. So it's really educating them on like why you have this, why you shouldn't have this, maybe you should consider this. Talk to a CPA, talk to a PNC agent, or anyone in their professional realm where we can help make their situation better, and just refer out and educate them on what's out there. And there's so much noise in the financial world, just calming the noise and bringing everything back on why you need this, why you should have that, and why you shouldn't. So
So, who should be involved in the business planning process?
Me? No, I'm just kidding. I love, and again, if you find the right business advisor or financial professional that you trust, they oftentimes will hopefully approach it in collaboration. So it is about understanding who needs to be a part of that, but then also what are the skill sets and the personality types. Just because somebody, for example, a professional, whoever it may be, might have this amazing pedigree and strategy, but if you can kind of sense that they're not going to really work well with the client, you want to present the client with different options for those professionals. But to get back to your question, it's CPAs, it's business attorneys. It could be depending on how big the organization is, it could be a different business coach or a strategist. It really sounds like a catch-all answer, but it does depend on the business. But those are some kind of the staple of the professionals that would be involved in that.
Welcome everybody to the Connect Show. Tracy, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, Jon?
I'm doing good. We are so happy to have you here joining us from Studio A5, and Tracy is in the North Woods where the birds are chirping and everything is beautiful.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Connect Show with Jon and Tracy, where we join you each week to provide you with the resources to be successful.
And if you have the opportunity, put your email into the chat in your LinkedIn profile. And if you have any suggestions for the show, please email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com.
This month, we're talking all about business coaching. And today, our guests are Yang Yi. Did I say it right?
Yang Yi Lor.
Okay. And Heather Price. I was
Yep,
close.
and I typed that wrong in the
Yes,
script. I apologize.
you did. You purposely did that on purpose to set me up.
No, I think I was going to do, well, anyways. Yes, I'll take full responsibility for that. Coming up next week, we have another exciting show with Charlotte Allen and Barb Walla. We're going to be Zooming live from all over the great state of Wisconsin, and it's going to be a really wonderful time.
Mm-hmm. And then next week, we also have our Madison show. So everybody can come and watch that also. We will be live for that.
Yeah, that's In Business Madison Expo, May 18th at is it the Alliant Energy Center is what they call it right now? It's the
I
big
think so.
place in Madison,
Yeah.
the only stadium in Madison.
Yes, and they're having a big trade show, and we're gonna have people that are having booths there come in and be guest speakers that day.
It's going to be a 6-hour Connect show. It's going to be wonderful. Great stuff. So share your information in the chat. I said that already. Make sure you put your LinkedIn profile. And in addition to that, I wanted to add one thing. If you have an ideal client, let us know who that is so that we can help you connect with your ideal client.
So, also talking about other things for the Connect Show, we are always looking for ambassadors and volunteers to help us with the Connect Show. We have a good amount of people helping us out behind the scenes. We're looking for people that want to commit to some time every month to join us in a meeting or two, talk about some ways to make the Connect Show better for our followers, and maybe ways that you can contribute some time and some of your skills, and help share the Connect Show for us and with us. So if you're interested in any of those opportunities, please reach out to us because we are looking for people.
It's a great opportunity to get involved, network, and create long-lasting business connections. And you get to be first in line at the company picnic on June 22nd.
Oh, that was a great lead-in. That was great.
That's a perk. And speaking of which, June 22nd, we're having a company picnic. So if you're an independent contractor, if you're a small business owner and you miss making bad decisions at company functions, this is a great opportunity for you to join us at the company picnic on June 22nd. We'll have food, cornballs, or those games that you play, alcohol, and plenty of opportunity to enjoy yourself and show us who you really are. It'll be a wonderful sharing opportunity for all of us.
Yeah, and we're having it right there at Expansive. So
We are.
not only are you going to be able to network with us, you can come see Expansive and see some fellow coworkers that are probably there working that day. So
Since Serendipity changed to Expansive, it has become really busy. There's a ton of people who have offices here. The place is really full, so it's always vibrant, and there's lots of people to run into at the water cooler, hang out, and then talk about the good and the bad of Milwaukee sports, or whatever you like to talk about.
And we've got some exciting things with Connect Media too.
We do have Connect Media today. We're going to be starting our first show. So we help people create shows, and it's not just sitting in front of the camera and being here in the studio. There's a whole bunch of work that goes into acquiring guests, making sure that the guests have all of their information, and following up with them, telling them that the Burleigh exit is closed, which I didn't do, and I'm going to add that to the email. But all of those things will help your show experience. There's much more to a vodcast than just sitting in front of the mic and having a meaningful conversation. And we do all of that. Today we get to work with Joseph, the wealth coach, and start our first show today. And we're real excited about that.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
It is. So Tracy, this is International Coaching Month, and there is, we have coaches on all year long, and we talk about mindset and strategy and tactics. How do you use coaching for your business, and how do you use coaches?
Well, I've used some coaches in the past. I've explored coaches many times. I've asked them questions about what they could offer me and what they could do. I've had conversation with a few coaches, but having a coach is like kind of a big leap. So I haven't really found somebody specifically that I think I would like to use as a coach. Not that I'm against it. It's just that I think having a coach is a very personal relationship, and I think you really need to kind of find that fit. But in the meantime, I do have a lot of influencers, I guess you could call them, that I follow, or I follow what coaches are doing. So if you are a coach, there's probably plenty of people like me watching all your moves and studying you, trying to decide whether or not they actually want to work with you. And so if they're like me, they're kind of watching all the stuff that you're putting out there. And so that's kind of how I'm using coaching right now. How about you?
Well, to go back to, I just want to follow up when you said you're watching people to decide whether or not you want to use them as a coach. What would make that difference for you to go from seeing somebody who is putting content out there and solving some of your problems to hiring them to be your coach?
I think they would have to, well, first I'd have to be able to trust them. They'd have to have earned my trust before I would even consider it. And I think, and then I would have to see that they've done other things with other people. I'd have to see that success. And then I'd also have to know, am I prepared to put in the time and the energy with this coach to accomplish the goals that I'm trying to accomplish? And have I really defined what those goals are? Because I could get a coach and maybe going after the wrong goals. So I think you need all those parts.
Yeah. And I
Which
think a
is
coach could,
not a big, it's kind of a big thing.
it is. So you asked, why do I use a coach? And I use a coach quite often because I know when we were reading Think and Grow Rich, and I know I haven't been there because I've been busy on Wednesdays, but Tracy and Kim have a book club, and every week at Wednesday at 11:30 they talk about a different book. And when we were doing it before, it was Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, Henry Ford talks about, or they reflect on a story about Henry Ford being in front of a panel or some type of Senate committee where they asked if he was smart enough or educated enough to actually run a company. And they asked him a bunch of academic questions, which he wasn't able to answer, but he was able to answer things by saying, if I have a problem, I know the person who can solve it, which sounds like a Vanilla Ice song. But when if you can find the right person, I think that's what a coach is that right person for solving a problem. And that's how I use a coach in with money. I went to Pat Miller and I said, hey, here's the challenges that I'm finding in growing my business and expanding my business. And he said, oh, I have the same problem. Here's a tool that I used. And so we talked about that. He helped coach me through that problem. And now we're going to check in again as that accountability. And that's just one example, but I do that for a lot of little things because working in the business that we're in, Tracy, we're around a lot of self-improvement and personal growth, business development. So we hear it all, but I think sometimes we need to have that person who can say the right thing to us, and then we can be accountable to them. And I have the same thing. I need to respect them, trust them, believe in their results, and that's what would move me from seeing them online to hiring them as a coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's probably similar for a lot of people. I think a lot of people will probably feel the same way.
Yep. And our quote today is, coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their growth. And that's by John Whitmore. And if anybody who knows who John Whitmore is, or you can Google it, put it in the chat so then we all know. We'd like to ask the audience, do you use coaching, and how do you use coaching to help with your business and your personal growth?
How about you, Serena? She looks all ready to answer.
Yeah, I use coaches for business and sales, and I mean, I am a coach around mindset and healing, beliefs on a deeper level. But the areas that I don't know, like you were saying, kind of with Henry Ford, and that's business stuff, sales, marketing, areas I don't know about. So that's where I ask for help, and I also do mindset work myself. And get that help as well, kind of drink my own Kool-Aid kind of thing for the coaching that I do.
Nice. So you can coach yourself if you have a skill set in something. Well, I guess I do coach myself in some stuff.
Yeah, I get help in that area too from other people. I don't think we can do everything ourselves.
Right. And then you don't know, there might be somebody in your industry that you specialize in, but yet they take a different approach or they do something just slightly different, and all of a sudden you've picked up a new little tidbit.
Absolutely. Yeah. we need that, different perspectives.
How about you, Van? Oops, sorry, John.
Oh, it's okay. There's a proverb that I'm gonna.
Oh.
No, I'm not even gonna say it. If somebody remembers it, the African proverb about going further together, and I'll put that out there because I think somebody knows that proverb.
Mm.
Yeah, I've used mentors more in my business life. There's less accountability, because you bring in a coach and they're going to help you work through. And we have clients that use coaches, so it's very, very comfortable with what they do. And you're right, you want to have a good fit, but you also need somebody that's not willing to hold your feet to the fire. They're going to push you in areas where you're not comfortable, because most of us tend to gravitate towards areas where we're comfortable, make decisions based on that, and they're not always good for the growth of the firm. So I think a good coach is going to hit the hot buttons. They're going to push you in a direction that you might not want to go yourself, and you're more of a business leader, and you'll have more of a business because of that.
Yeah. How about Kim? Kim's got any coaching? Kim's got nothing.
I don't know if you guys are.
Oh, she can't talk. Poor girl. She's can't say anything. But she's going to have to do the networking report next.
Networking report, and I think we should jump right into that with the networking report. This week we have Kim Knack of Opportunities Knocking to join us for the networking report. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thanks, John.
That was a little intro off the sly, huh?
A little
There
bit.
we go.
A little bit. We left Tracy up there so she can be part of the team.
Yeah.
Because next week, you guys already kind of alluded a little bit to it. Our big networking thing that we're doing is In Business Madison. Super excited. Do I need to be closer?
Yes.
Am I close enough?
Yeah, we can do ASMR. That'll be great.
Can you hear me? Okay, so May 18th, next week, Wednesday, we are going to be at the Alliant Energy Center. So I found the name for you. There's going to be about 1,200 business professionals there. We're going to have an amazing booth with video. These business owners can come have little mini interviews done. We're gonna no.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh, you're
yeah,
like, oh,
you
okay,
go.
all right.
It was a yeah.
You're
that was a yes.
You're exciting.
Sure, I'm just
through it.
moving.
They're going to be able to have little mini interviews done. We're going to talk to them if they would be interested in creating their own show, what that could look like. Tracy talked a little bit about Connect Media, where we can offer the video aspect, social media aspect, website aspect, all in one beautiful package.
Mm-hmm.
How big is our booth? We have like the biggest booth, don't we?
It's the biggest booth in the whole place. Yes, it really is, and
so
it's on a
fun.
stage. We're gonna have lights. I haven't gotten approval on the fogger, but we're gonna work on that.
Oh my gosh, John can't wait.
Yeah,
John can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Guns N' Roses as my intro music.
I love it.
That'd be kind of cool.
There's keynote speakers, but I mean, think about like 1,200 different people that you can network with for your small business. So if you're in Wisconsin, within a 2-hour radius, make it worth your time. When I'm back to my computer, I'll put a link in the chat so that if you're interested in looking into it, you can register or look at what's going on. I don't know if they have booth spots available yet. They're still showing it on their website, so they might.
Yeah.
And that's about it for Madison, but I'm really, really excited about it. We're gonna have a great team of people there.
We're pumped.
We're pumped. We have
It's gonna
Think
be-
and Grow Rich. You guys talked about that. Do not forget about that. It's like a great mastermind book club. Tracy does a great job with it. And we have our weekly mastermind event on Fridays at 10 a.m. Central, where right now we are talking about sales funnels.
Mhm.
So we really got some good conversation going last week, and it just started. So join us on Friday. I will link all of this in the chat. Happy networking.
That's great, and we'll put that hit the downstream. There we go. And each and every week we have Kim Knack for the networking report. And if you have a networking event, please email us at ideas@theconnectshow, and we'll be sure to get that onto the networking report. each and every week, and it will be fun. And Yang Yi Lor is a PCC coach and strategy consultant and president of Faithful Consulting.
She enjoys making a social change impact in workplaces by providing coaching, training, assessment, and consultings. She is a mom to Faith and Sage and a community leader.
Welcome, Yang Yi. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you are a coach. You work with coaches. You're
Yes.
in the coaching world. Do you also have a coach that you use?
Yes, initially when I started my business, I did hire a coach.
Mhm.
So that was about 7 years ago now, because I've had my business for 7 years. I can't believe that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's crazy. So yes, for sure, I feel if you are coaching, you should also have a coach. I think everyone should have a coach because I think we are our biggest critic.
Mm-hmm.
And we stand in our way the most. And it's really nice to have a coach hold that space for us to just step away, to strategize, or to think at our problems from a different view. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. I like what you said, having that space to not be so hard on ourselves,
Yeah.
basically, because we are our own worst critic, and a coach can
Yeah.
help us speak to us ourselves like our own best friend.
Yes.
Yes, that's wonderful. What trends and challenges do you see in coaching different generations of leader? You're a leadership development coach. Is that
Yes.
the correct name?
So I do a lot of leadership executive coaching,
Mhm.
and what I find in the different trends from the older generation to the younger is there's a really huge shift in just wanting to make an impact and wanting things to move really fast. So the younger coach leaders that are stepping up into executive positions or senior level positions, they want to see change, and they want to see change happen now or yesterday,
Mhm.
versus where I think some of the older generation, it's kind of more like I've been there, done that.
Mhm.
Slow your horses. I've also had, you know, I've also been there where I wanted change to happen, and then over the years I realized what's more realistic, or
Mhm.
etc. So I do see that there is definitely a generation change in terms of just coaching the different generations. I think it's exciting though. I think it's really exciting to just see, and the accountability and the energy to drive and step up and say, no, we got to make some changes. We know we need to. Things can't be the same. And I like that drive and energy from the younger generation.
Mhm.
So, why do you think it's important that organizations create a coaching culture?
Yeah, I think it's important because we should continuously grow and learn from our blind spots. We all have opportunities to step back and think and pause more than ever now. Although coaching doesn't address the mental illnesses, it addresses some of the stresses and some of the emotional lows and energies of folks in industry. And I think cultivating a coaching culture helps with individuals to just be more aware of not only their own personal emotions, those around them, and also continue to be engaged and work towards that vision and mission of the company, because we've all been there where motivation just gets lost along the way, whether we're in a company for a long time. And I think just the coach holds that space
Mhm.
for every individual person in the company.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost like if you have the culture there already, when you're bringing in new people, then they'll just already, like, it's like they learn about it as they're with the company, and then they just expect it. It's just a this is what we do here type of
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
So, over the past couple of years, diversity, equity, and inclusion has become more in the forefront of coaching and integrating it into, especially leadership development. So, why is it important to have that in your coaching?
Yeah, it's super important, I think, for the equitability component, but also it's I don't know how many. I mean, every single leader that I coach that is a BIPOC leader has said, gosh, it's really nice to just be in this coaching in this space where someone looks like me, has similar experiences. And that connection, I think, was it Tracy that mentioned about safety? That safety, that psychological safety that is created automatically with some of that just similarity or just experience or just knowing that that person can feel maybe what you've been through. That component creates that safety automatically. And I think it is truly important that we all have opportunities. Everyone has opportunities within the company, and to be more intentional, I think, of just moving forward. How do we coach our BIPOC leaders that might be more culturally sensitive, incorporating those things, and how do we develop them maybe a little bit different? We all know, like, education or any industry, any individual person, we're all very unique in our own ways. And I think it's DEI is like taking that uniqueness and saying, we recognize it, we see you as you, and we want to develop you from that space.
Yeah, that's I think DEI is so important because it's you don't know what it's like to be somebody else, and so it's really important to have that leadership reflect the community or the people that leadership serves. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it could also be very nurturing for that person too, and it can build their confidence and make them into more leadership type of person also. I also wanted to ask you quick before we move on to any kind of offers that you might have. What does it look like if somebody were to hire you? What does the experience look like for them? What can they expect if they were to hire you?
So right away, I would do like a 30-minute chemistry session. Same thing, as much as you love to work with me, I have to make sure there's the chemistry. So chemistry works both ways for the coach as well as for the client. And so just understand that most coaches will be in that presence of, like, we want to make sure at the end of the day, it's your success that we're responsible for as coaches. And so we want to make sure that we're a good fit for you and we can help you to get to that next level. Vice versa, we want you to feel safe, because without safety, as you mentioned earlier, Tracy, you really can't move forward in any form of coaching. And I, as a coach, feel just being responsible to that code of ethics as a coach is really important to make sure that my clients feel very safe. So they would get a 30-minute chemistry session with me just to determine if I'm a good fit for them, vice versa, if I feel I'm a good fit for them. And then we would move forward from there and talk about terms and what that looks like.
That sounds very inviting and non-intimidating.
No, not at all.
So we do have a page on our website for you. It's connectshow.com with your full name, no spaces in there. And we do have information on there on how people can reach you. But do you have anything that you wanted to offer our guests today?
Yeah, so I have a Find Your Life Inspire Leadership program. It runs from July through August. It's every Tuesday from 9 to 12 that I'm going to be doing July and August. So it's a 9-week program. It used to be a 12-week program. I'm offering it for 9 weeks now. And that really takes a look at whether you're an emergent leader or a leader that's kind of at a crossroad. I think it's ideal for you because it really takes a look at just where a little bit of your history, a little bit of your story, and it develops you into that empowered, authentic leader. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I want to be like that, I want to be like this. And what I'm saying and what this program is really about is, how do we empower you to be the leader that you're meant to be? Not be this or that, but how do you take that skill and make it yours and develop your own authenticity in terms of leading your team, yourself, your family, whatever that is. That's the intention of that program. So that is a 9-week program, July through August this year, that we're going to have every single Tuesday, every week on the Tuesday. That would be something that you can take.
That's wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining us. We haven't had you in the studio for so long, so
Yeah.
it's great that you made it down here from the Northland. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much, and we look forward to having you on the show again.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
So
Thank you.
next up we have Kim is going to be joining us for the marketing moment in just one moment, and every week Kim joins us for the marketing moment where she'll help give us ideas on social media, website development, different ways that we can help promote your business. And Kim will be joining us in just 1 second. So Tracy, tell us what's going on up in the north.
God, it's beautiful up here right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's warm out, and the other day I almost fed some deer with an apple out of my hand. Can you believe
Nice.
it?
That
Yeah, I'm
was it a
training the
large
deer.
was it a large deer or small deer? Elk size or Bambi size?
Medium size,
Medium?
probably a mom and her 2 babies were running around, but the babies were too afraid, but the mom got real close and almost ate that apple right out of my hand.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that I do hanging out up here. I feed the animals.
Well, that is just really fantastic. Tell us something else, Tracy, because we just lost a screen.
Oh no. Well, what
Yeah.
else? What else?
So
The loons came back, so now there's loons on the lake. The frogs are out chirping like crazy, so there's a lot of sounds.
that's
And I
amazing.
hear it's supposed to be 88 degrees on Thursday.
88 degrees.
Yeah,
That is incredible.
terrible.
Are you going to go jump in the
It's
lake? Is the
not
lake
terrible.
cold?
I am not going to go jump in the lake. I think the lake's kind of.
Do you swim in the lake in the winter?
I don't even go in the lake in the summer.
Oh, all right. Well, it looks like we have everything happening, and Kim is going to rock on to Electric Avenue. Do it to it.
That was my song when I was a kid. Did you know that?
Did you roller skate to it?
No, I was way too young. Well, I maybe did with my little Fisher Price roller skates.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a few years old, and I would walk around with my little Fisher Price and sing that into the microphone.
That is. You want
There's
to
recordings of it.
do a couple?
Nope,
couple
we're good.
bars?
Nope, we're
No?
good.
Okay.
Nope, not today. So for today, so every time he says that, it just takes me back to 3 years old. I don't really know how old I was, but we're off to the marketing moment. So today we're going to talk about reviews, and people don't think about reviews as marketing. So reviews are so important, especially for small businesses. They help define you as the trusted expert in your field, especially when you're starting off. You need to really research how to get reviews. If you are getting reviews, you should also be giving reviews. So when you get reviews, people are very intimidated to ask for that. Would you give me a 5-star review? Anytime I'm asked to give a 5-star review, I have no problems, and I'm actually honored because they felt like they gave me the kind of service that deserved a great review. So if they didn't, well, then that's a conversation that we can have. And then you should in turn be giving back reviews, especially to other small businesses, because we're helping each other out. You should definitely respond to every review that goes on your website, Google My Business, Facebook, wherever they might be. And also respond to the negative reviews. You may not want to, but respond to it in a positive way and ask if you can take the conversation offline. Could I give you a call? I would appreciate if you would call me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Let's connect and figure out what happened. I want to fix it.
That's such good advice, because I think sometimes when we get negative reviews, we want to combat and
It's so hard,
and
right?
go at it, and just maybe take a pause.
Yep.
Don't touch it for a day. Come back to it after you've had breakfast and a good sleep.
Exactly.
And then you had great advice. Repeat that advice again.
So respond. I don't know exactly how I said it because it just came out of my mouth. But
beautiful.
Respond to the negative reviews with a positive spin, or it doesn't have to necessarily be positive, but it's not necessarily that the customer is always right. But take it offline. Don't keep it don't go back and forth with them. I'm so sorry for your experience. I'd love to chat with you. Let's figure out how we can fix this problem. Show that you really care about the problem that happened and don't ignore it. And then some platforms that you should definitely consider using. LinkedIn has great recommendation spots. Google My Business absolutely should use that if your business falls into a business that can be on Google. Facebook is great too, but I highly recommend website and Google My Business, most importantly, because those are more owned reviews where, you know, if you have it on social media and something happens, you might not have ability to get it anymore.
And when I looked at, I was in another networking and they talked about the Google My Business reviews, and it was really easy. He said, just click here, here, and here. And then there was a link that you can just click one button and it's got a little copy to clipboard. And then you can send that to people and say, hey, could you give me a Google review? And Google Juice is
great
it's
juice
gold.
to have.
Google Juice is gold.
And I like to use those reviews. I put them on my social media. So I do exactly that. And I put it on a graphic. And then now my testimonials are out there where, you know, if you just let them sit, well, that's fine too if someone's Googling your business. But if you're newer, use that information. And Tracy and I used to run a monthly review networking event. And it was so informative. We're still going to do it occasionally, but probably not monthly. But it's really, I mean, people are so intimidated by reviews, but it's a form of marketing. So get it done.
That is, I really appreciate you bringing that. I think reviews is just an easy way that you can get that know, like, and trust, grow your business, get some Google Juice in the meantime.
Absolutely.
And continue to move forward. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And each and every week, Kim will be joining us for the Marketing Moment, where you can learn valuable tips just like this one on how to improve your business, market your company, and reach your clients better.
I put our link to our reviews in the chat for the Connect show. So everybody here, if you would love to leave us a review, I just put the link in the chat for us.
There you go. You're on it.
Are we ready for our next guest?
We are.
All right.
Rock and roll.
Heather Price has been motivating businesses, teams, and individuals for over 20 years. She's not afraid to ask the tough questions. She helps her clients navigate change, increase productivity, and ultimately reach their business and personal goals.
Yeah, and through customized training workshops, she uses warmth, humor, and a clear process to engage and inspire enduring change.
So welcome, Heather, to the show. We would like to also ask you the question of the day is, are you using a coach?
Drum roll. So I'm actually in transition, technically. I don't have a coach right now. I had a coach last year, which I absolutely loved. It's just the accountability piece. I think it was Van that mentioned, right? Like, I love the mentorship piece of it, but having a coach does add that additional accountability. And I needed it. So I just came off of a year of that, was very appreciative. I think there's something when you hear yourself say what you need to do out loud and you tell somebody else, there's an extra layer of accountability in there. So anyway, I ended my coaching with that coach last year, and I'm starting actually group coaching, something a little bit different. I'll be starting a group of small women business owners in June. So
I think I do like group coaching more than personal coaching. Because you get more than just one person's perspective on your situation, whatever you're dealing with.
Absolutely. And ideas, right? And I think you get to hear that other people are struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with. You don't feel as alone.
Don't feel alone. I think one thing that was really important, you said, saying it out loud. And whenever I have a big, audacious goal, if I don't have a coach at that time, I at least want to put it out into the world. And I think once I believe that if you put something out into the world, you'll find the solution and the way to make it happen. You don't need to know how to do it. You just need to know what you want to do.
Get it out there. Yeah.
And then it'll work itself out.
Absolutely.
So Heather, what do you believe are one or two of the most important skills in being a coach or having a coach?
In a coach. So I would say one of the most important skills to look for in a coach is listening. Number one, as a coach, I think listening is important because it's efficient. And I know this sounds kind of weird. Like I'm kind of an efficiency buff. I like to multitask, and it's kind of an oxymoron, right? Because when you're multitasking, you're not really truly listening. But listening is efficient because it saves you time, so people don't have to repeat themselves, but it helps you get to the correct solution faster, right? It helps with proper diagnosis. So if your coach is listening, they're going to get you to your goal faster. So that would be the first thing I would say. The second thing why I think listening is important is, have you ever heard anyone say you listen too much? Right? I mean, nobody ever says, oh, you listen too much, but I'm sure we've all heard, oh, you talk too much, right? I mean, one of the greatest gifts and greatest needs, really, one of the greatest human needs is to be heard and to have somebody listen to us. And so I just think listening is so important from that aspect. And then, some of the most common feedback I have gotten from people I have coached after the fact, when they've come back and said, I really enjoyed coaching with you. I loved how well you listened to me. Sometimes people need a safe place to vent, and to somebody to really hear them. And I think coaching holds a space for that. So I would say definitely listening. The second one is, I think a great coach has to ask good questions. 99% of the time, my belief is your client already has the answer. They just need to talk it out, and they need somebody to help guide them. So asking really good questions is an important skill for coaches to have. It creates better buy-in when it's their idea. So many coaches think that, and it is important, you want to hire somebody that has expertise, obviously, in what you're asking for coaching around. So they do need that expertise, but oftentimes I think coaches come into a relationship thinking that they have to have all the answers and the best advice, but really they just need to have really good questions. So I would say listening and asking good questions would be two important skills in a coach, traits.
And I believe when you talk about asking better questions, whether you're a coach asking your client or you're a business asking your ideal client, if you're not getting the results that you want or desire out of your marketing, your social media, your business, ask better questions to the right people.
Right.
And that's a great point that you pointed out. Now, you primarily focus on business coaching, correct?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, business coaching. I coach a lot of financial advisors.
You also incorporate health and wellness into your coaching. Can you tell us a little bit how those two work together?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had a couple people introduce me before, and they go out to my website and they look and it says business and wellness. And I had somebody once read it and they said, business and wellness, kind of like with a question mark at the end of it. And I said, yes, business and wellness. The two really go hand in hand. I have a huge passion for health and wellness for a variety of reasons. I think most people in life, when they find something they're passionate about, it's because they had something in their life, right, that created that passion, some kind of experience that took them to where they were. And 8 years ago, I had a personal experience specifically around health and burnout that led me to really make some huge changes in my life and my family's life. And it made such a huge difference that I actually got some certifications. Interestingly, this month is it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And so what I have found is it's very difficult to build a successful business unless you have a sound mind and a healthy body. So I would find in my coaching that people were struggling to get ahead or to reach their goals. And it was oftentimes because of, a mental hangup, stress related, right? They had burnout, maybe they had anxiety or fear. And so I really found myself incorporating a lot of the mental wellness and physical wellness. The two go hand in hand. You can't have physical wellness without mental wellness and vice versa. So I do spend some time talking about how they're taking care of themselves. Are they eating correctly, sleeping enough, exercising enough, taking care of, right, what's up here? Because like I said, it's difficult to grow a successful business if you're not doing well in those other areas.
Oh, I totally agree with all that.
Yes.
Because I found that out myself, and sometimes not the easy way, the hard way. But once you figure it out and you know how to get those habits in your life, it's fantastic.
It is. It can make a big difference. I had, and especially coming off the last 2 years we've had with COVID, the number of coachees that I had, right? Clients that I had that were struggling mentally. And because things had just kind of turned upside down, right? They were out of their routine. They weren't seeing the same people. They didn't have the same things in their lives. And so we spent a lot of time working on the mental aspect of it, and it was impactful, made a big difference.
That's wonderful. So how do you help clients achieve, or how do you help hold your clients accountable to their goals?
Good question. It's kind of a trick question, actually, because I don't think any of us can hold any one person accountable, to be honest. Accountability isn't something you do to somebody, right? You can't really hold somebody accountable. That's more about control, and we can't control others. So we really have to focus with our clients on the things that are within our control, like inspiring them and creating the right environment for follow through to take place. So when it comes to accountability, and I think Van had shared, accountability can be kind of a scary thing. And oftentimes I think people hear the word accountability and they think hammer approach. But really, I think of a nurturing growth approach, right? If you are going to create an accountable culture or help somebody be accountable, you have to provide, like if you were cultivating a field, right? It needs rain, it needs sunshine, it needs the right seeds, it needs cultivating, all of these things. We have to do the same thing for our clients. We have to build trust with them, right? In the absence of control, influence is the next best, or trust is the next best influencer. So that trust, I think, Tracy, it was you at the beginning, we were talking about relationship. You have to build trust with your clients in order to provide an accountable environment, or an environment for accountability to take place.
Yeah, because if you're struggling with trusting that person, you're then going to struggle with why should I make this important? If I'm already struggling to do it myself, they're not going to give me the extra thing that I need to put me over the edge unless I trust them and respect them. Because if that piece isn't there, then, and if you don't have it for yourself, then it might not get done.
Yeah. And you may have heard the term accountability without relationship is harassment, right? That relationship is so important. If you want people to follow through, they have to trust you. You have to inspire them. It's not an easy answer, right? And not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. You said accountability without relationship is harassment. That is a really strong quote for today. And I think reflecting on everything that we talked about and what everybody said is, it not only in coaching, but in business and social media and marketing and everything that we do, it's relationships, it's trust, it's proof of concept of what you do. And I heard trust a lot today, that trust word. So I think that's a great thing for all of us to focus on in everything we do in our business.
So do you have any offers you'd like to give our guests today?
Great question. Thank you for asking. So right now I'm spending a lot of time in the space of coaching coaches, actually. So our clinics have been really popular and really full. We offer sales activity coaching. So if you are a coach and you want to learn more of those softer skills, like we talked about, listening and asking good questions, those would be a great place to spend some time, or a great place to invest. And then also, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, one of the things that I didn't share is I am a wellness partner with Amare, which is the mental wellness company. So if you have questions on just, mental health in general, how to be healthier, what some options are, feel free to reach out, and I'd love to do an introductory call in that space.
Wonderful. And we do have, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you'll have her information on her page, correct?
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, I should have just waited.
We just think alike.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Heather, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Once again, I wanted to remind everybody of the Connect Show Mastermind. And Heather and Yangi, thank both of you for joining us today. But back to the Connect Show Mastermind. Each month we're talking about a new topic. Last month we talked about how to build a course, and it's a mastermind. So we're doing a deep dive into what you need to make a course, not a pre-scripted sales approach like a webinar or anything like that. We're talking about how different courses can be used in different ways. This month we're talking about funnels And in funnels, there's all kinds of automation. And the thing I enjoyed most about last week is we talked about a couple of people's specific issues in creating a funnel. Like, where do I start? What is that first thing that I talk about? Funnels are complicated. It's this big web of information. So we broke it down into, this is where we can start, and here's some tools that we can use to solve those specific problems. And that's every Friday at 10 a.m. And there's a link available in the chat. And it would be wonderful if you can join us. If you'd like to learn more about sales funnels, we're going to be talking about that the entire month of May. And
or if you're using sales funnels and would like to contribute some of your knowledge, that would be great too.
Yes, we should invite Cultivating Sales on. They have a little bit of mad skills in that department.
Yes, we should have her do a special appearance.
Yeah. Well,
see, we're just brainstorming right now, so
we are on it. We are one mind. Okay, so thanks to everyone for coming today. Are you yellow or white? I forgot completely. It's the last slide. I have no idea what's going on. It's chaos.
Our show next week is featuring Charlotte Allen and Barb Walla. And they're also some coaches, so we're excited about that. And thanks to Expansive.
Thanks to everybody who keeps the show running. Kim Knock she does everything behind the scenes. She's up here. She's running all over the place. She is doing fantastic work. Yes. Carlo is on the switcher, doing the ones and twos. I think that's what we call it. Kids these days, I don't know. Sandra is working with this to make it look as best as it can. It's tough, but she's got a tough job, but she does great. And yeah, thanks.
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Roll credits. Carlo's like, ooh, where's credits?